Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. And we're here in the Ignite podcast studio again today with a very special guest. We have Mr. Reginald Ford from SEB Mortgage, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect. They give me like 5 seconds to get it right before I walk in here. Sometimes it's a hit or miss, but I got it right this time. So tell me how you got into mortgage brokerage and what's it like for you?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited. This is amazing. I got in the industry about 20 years ago, but I opened my own company up about 2 years ago. And the way I got into the industry, I bought an investment property, and I didn't know anything about mortgages. So I was like, if I can buy an investment property and I don't know anything about mortgages, what if I learned about mortgages?
Yep.
So that's how I got into the industry. And I loved it because it's like you can help the community. You can share different things. And a lot of people don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Like I didn't know. And so that was my passion. That really is what drove me, is to make sure, because I always thought home ownership and owning stuff is a part of freedom, a part of the American dream. So that's what drove me. And then when I opened my company a couple of years ago, I've always been talking about it. And then one day I said, just do it. Quit my job. And I didn't close my first loan. After I quit my job, I didn't close my first loan or help my first family for 6 months.
Really?
For 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, I bet that family was so happy, though, because for me, I don't know anything about mortgage. All I know is what my dad tells me and what I find on Google, which, let's be honest, Dr. Google doesn't even really have the answer to everything, so at least not the right answer. So I love that you are so passionate about letting people know about, mortgage and all the rules to it and the know-hows to it. What's the biggest advice you have for a family that's looking into getting a property?
The biggest thing that I share with people, you have to stay consistent. And what I mean by consistent, I may put a person, and I learned this over years, you put a person in a home, they're excited, and then once that novelty runs off in 2 months of the new home, they revert back to bad spending habits.
Oh.
And I say, because you have to have good credit or decent credit to purchase homes. So let's continue to work on that. So my company, and this is one of the things I always tell people, my company is a community activist group that happens to do mortgages. That's how
I love that.
I do that, because if I'm just a mortgage person, as soon as your loan closes, I don't talk to you anymore.
Yep.
I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want that. I wanted to continue the success. I want you to be bigger and buy another house or open up a business or go on that vacation or whatever. So that is, be consistent once you get the house, because you did everything you need to do to get the house. So continue to be consistent.
That's true. I think you're right in that. That's one of the biggest things that people, they have this great budgeting plan and they want to budget to save for this house. So you got the down payment, but you also need to understand that mortgage is coming every month. Not like rent, like you have HOA fees sometimes too.
Exactly.
And those things, they start to add up. And so if you're not budgeting the same, it can hit you like a brick wall.
Absolutely.
And come out of nowhere. What are some things, you say you guys are community activists, which I absolutely love. How do you guys get out there and educate the community?
So one of the things, the biggest thing that most people do not understand, when you help a person purchase a home or refinance a home, you're actually helping that community, because home ownership drives success. And what I mean by that, you're happy that you got your own home. You can paint it purple if you want to. You can do whatever. It's home. It's something that you can hug.
Yep.
So if you feel like that about your home, now that feeling transfers to the neighborhood. And now you're picking up trash, or you forming a neighborhood watch organization, or you know the neighbors. So it's a lot more than just coming the brick building or the roof over your head. So that's one of the things we want people to love their community. If you love your community, the community is better. You more successful entrepreneurs or college people or whatever or come out of that community. So that's what we really preach on that.
I agree. I think one of the biggest issues in our community is that people don't have access to getting their own homes as easily. And so you start to feel kind of down in the dumps a little bit. You know, there's a different type of motivation and drive that comes with owning your own home. And so I love that you guys encourage that for people. One of the things that we do at Ignite is I touch base with you on the conversations, and I would love to have you and your team come in here and talk to people about how important it is saving for a house, but also really understanding what it means to, you know, have a mortgage.
Yes.
What are some, you know, little tidbits that people don't realize when they get a mortgage?
So the first thing
You're good.
yes, shook the table. Everyone, if you're paying rent, you're paying a mortgage. And people look at me like I'm crazy. I did a seminar. I said, how many people here, what is your mortgage? And they were looking at, no, I'm here to get a house. I'm getting a mortgage. I said, you renting? They said, yeah. I said, you're paying a mortgage. You're paying someone else's mortgage.
Yep.
So let me tell you what you're doing. You're paying the mortgage for your landlord. So what you're doing, you're putting equity into his house. The payment that he or she's supposed to be making, you're making it for him. Then he's charging you more, so you're billing his savings account. And I said, you're actually sending his child to college. And they looked at me. I said, yes. You're sending his child to college. You're buying that new car he's driving. And they started looking. I said, so why don't you take that same money and purchase your own home and get the benefits of owning a home, building equity into your home, getting the tax write-offs at the end of the year, painting your room purple if you want to. So that is one of the things I start all of my presentations off with them, trying to get them in the mindset that you're already paying a mortgage. The first thing they say, well, I don't want to have to call anyone if the plumbing bursts. You have to call the landlord. Yeah, but he would take care of it. I said, okay. And I don't have the money to pay for it. I said, you're paying for it in the rent.
Yeah.
So those are things that people don't recognize. And once I shed that light on them, they said, oh. I said, yeah, everything that he's calling that you thinking he's being the handyman, you are paid for it. You've already paid for it.
When I bought my first home with my sister a few years ago, one of my biggest anxiety things was, I don't know who to call. I live an hour away from my hometown, and I don't know anybody local. I'm used to the people that my dad knew growing up. And so after working here and realizing that I could go to BBB.org and find accredited businesses like yourself, in my mind, I realized, it's like calling dad.
Yes.
Like I can call dad and I can find a mortgage broker that I can trust, that's going to put me on the right path to, being able to have my own home. Absolutely. And I think that that's what people don't understand, and how important it is that you're in here today. And I can't stress this enough. All of the accredited businesses that I've spoken to that have been through that podcast door, they care about what they do. They care about their customers. They care about the community, because they found the time to come in here to speak to them about it. Yes. And so I love that you came in here today. You took the time out of your day to come in here and talk to me. And I really hope that you got the most out of it. But one of the things that I love to do at the end is I want people to know how they can get in contact with you.
I appreciate that, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. It means the world to me. It really does. And I like to run my mouth, as you can see.
I love it.
You can go to my website, sebmtg.com. sebmtg.com. All of my information is on there. And one of the things, too, I'm going to give you my cell phone. I always give people my personal cell phone, because I believe it's a relationship. It's a communication. It's a conversation.
I agree.
804-426-5377. 804-426-5377.
I love it. We're all about getting rid of the gatekeepers here.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Ford, thank you so much for coming in here. I had a great time talking to you. If anyone's, watching on YouTube, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe the video. It really helps us out. And comment down below. Let us know what you think. That helps the algorithm. And if you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow, like the Spotify, and share it out to people. Share the love. Things like this are really important, especially when we have accredited business here. We want everybody to shop local. So make sure that you do that, share the love, and give us a shout out. Thank you.